Thank you, Checo. Appreciate your time. We'll let you get on. I know you got a very busy day.
Good luck,
I miss you guys. You know, it's been a while.
I'll wait to
This
see
is
you
why
in
I'm
person.
coming to the sport. This is why I'm coming back to the sport to see you all guys there.
Good man.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Cheers, guys.
Good lad. Good lad. I like that. It was us lot. It was us lot. We're getting into him, weren't we, towards the end? But the thing with Checo is he's honest as the day is long with this sort of thing in his performances. And we've always, long relationship with him. I remember going back in, was it 2014? He was a McLaren driver, and him and JB, was it 2014 or 2015?
13, I think. Wasn't it? It was after
13,
Lewis
yeah,
left.
13.
Yeah, 13.
And I remember we filmed at a pub at 9 a.m. doing pub sports. And Gents was like, let's have a couple of pints of Badger Bitter or something like that during the shoot. And Jack was like, I'll jump in. And it's just really relaxed.
Funny enough, Lasers, I was talking to Matt Bishop, who was here today, about the day Checo was presented as a McLaren driver. And I reminded them that he arrived with his McLaren shirt out of his trousers. Mm-hmm. And as soon as Ron Dennis had been in the room 2 minutes, I looked around and the shirt was tucked in. Someone had told him he had to. But actually, someone made the point, Matt was making the point a little bit, who's now got a communications business and is working with Cadillac, just to explain why he was here today. He was saying that he thinks the ethos here and the slight, not laid back, but the slightly more informal nature of this startup team and the characters involved in it will suit Checo very well. And it was a difficult, as he's just said himself, atmosphere at Red Bull. Never mind the car, but I think what was going on there did not help him latterly. And he didn't really thrive at McLaren, where I think it was a little bit of a straitjacket, some of their ways of operating as well. So this, and it's a kind of an underdog team at this moment in time. And we know how well he did at Force India, just down the road from here. So this is a really good fit, I think you have to say.
Yeah, that might be one of his biggest struggles, actually, when he does come to the factory for the first time, is not carrying on and parking in his old car parking spot, which is about 400 yards down the road. Just on the point of, we gave Sergio a hard time. He did come in for a lot of criticism in his final season. And hindsight is a wonderful thing, and the way things have played out at Red Bull has made Sergio's efforts look a lot better than they were at the time. What I'm really glad about is that he's now got a second chance, and Valtteri has a second chance to show people that they still are really good, solid, competitive racing drivers and can put a performance in on any given Sunday. And he deserves to go out on a high for the service that he has put into Formula One, as does Valtteri as well. I mean, there's a tantalizing prospect that the last time these two were on the track, they actually collided. Valtteri hit Sergio and got a 5-place grid penalty as a which it does carry over. Yeah, I know the rules have changed, but as they were applied at the time, he starts his first race next year in Melbourne with a 5-place grid penalty.
It might not matter. It might. I mean, I don't want to do it down. Maybe they'll come off, come off the bat firing. But as Graham Lown said, Crofty, and to you, Craig, he was just talking about the fact. Imagine you're a team and you've been in the sport for 10 years, and Cadillac come out and beat you. They're not setting the bar that high at the moment, or expectations that high, because they are a new team and no one's expecting them in that first season to be anything other than 19th and 20th. Maybe they are internally, but I mean, how do we gauge a successful season for Cadillac coming into the sport?
I've been here a few times now, and it's amazing what they're doing. They're having to move departments to different industrial units, which they've taken up at this Silverstone base. They have got a chassis, which they had that in position a few weeks ago. They were able to test a wind tunnel model a little bit of in advance of some of the other teams because they weren't officially a licensed competitor until relatively recently. But yeah, Graham Loudon talked about it being a bit like the Apollo project, trying to get an F1 car ready as a startup for the new season in a little bit over a year. Have they had? Not even that, I don't think, since they got the license. And so it'll be one short lap for a car, one giant leap for a Loudon if they really do start on the front foot. But they've got good people. They've got a lot of experienced people here. Some who joined up before they got the license to race, and others are joining as well, Crofty, and will join this team. So they can make a virtue of their status as a new team. But the interesting comparison, I think, is with them and Audi. It's the startup versus the manufacturer which bought a team.
Max Verstappen, born September 30th, 1997, Hasselt, Belgium, is a race car driver competing in Formula One F1 under the Dutch flag. He is the sport's youngest race winner, and he is also the youngest person to start an F1 race. Driving for Red Bull Racing, he won 4 consecutive F1 Drivers' Championships, one of only 5 drivers to do so in the sport's history, in 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. Early life, karting, and F3. Verstappen is the elder of 2 children born to Jos Verstappen, a Dutch former F1 driver, and Sophie Kumpen, a Belgian former kart racer. His parents and upbringing provide him with claims to Belgian and Dutch citizenship. He maintains a residence in Monaco. His first taste of motorsport came at the age of 2, when he would ride a quad bike at the family's home. As a 4-year-old, he moved up to karting. By age 7, he had won his first race, and within the next several years he was competing in and winning national and European championships across karting categories. During this time, Verstappen's parents separated and then divorced. Verstappen lived with his father, whose approach to parenting and advancing his son's career has faced criticism over the years. In the television documentary Max Verstappen, Anatomy of a Champion, 2023, Verstappen's father argues that he was strict and uncompromising because he believed that this type of upbringing was necessary for Verstappen to reach the top of his sport. In 2014, at age 16, Verstappen began competing in the European Formula 3 F3 category, a step above karting to open-wheel, single-seater racing. He scored 10 wins, the most among all drivers in the series, and during the middle of the season he won 6 races in a row but finished 3rd overall in the F3 Drivers' Championship, largely because he failed to finish multiple races. F1 debut in 2015 and promotion to Red Bull in 2016. 2015, at age 17, Verstappen became the youngest driver ever to compete in an F1 race. Driving for Scuderia Toro Rosso at the Australian Grand Prix, his first race ended after 32 laps because of engine failure. He finished the season 12th in the Drivers' Championship, and his best race result was 4th place. His performance in 2015 secured him a promotion from Toro Rosso, considered Red Bull's junior team, to Red Bull Racing for the 2016 F1 season. He started slowly, with a 10th place finish at the season opener in Australia, but within 2 months he had set another F1 record, his victory at the Spanish Grand Prix on May 15, 2016, made him the youngest driver ever to win an F1 championship race. He was 18 years old. He finished the season in 5th place in the Drivers' Championship, 2 spots behind his teammate, Daniel Ricciardo. Verstappen failed to finish 7 of his first 14 races during the 2017 season. He was also involved in 3 first-lap collisions and scored only 1 top 3 finish during this span. But over the season's final 6 races, he won twice, in Malaysia and Mexico, and finished the season in 6th place in the Drivers' Championship, once again, though, behind Ricciardo. During the 2018 season, Verstappen's aggressive driving, causing collisions, banging wheels, forcing other drivers off the track, drew penalties from race officials and criticism from other drivers and his own team. Amid this controversy, he won twice and finished the season 4th in the Drivers' Championship. He also finished well ahead of Ricciardo, who left Red Bull after the season ended. Red Bull switched engine suppliers for the 2019 season, a change that proved to be beneficial for Verstappen. He won 3 races and claimed third place in the Drivers' Championship, a career best. He also substantially outperformed his new teammate, Alex Albon, who finished 5 spots behind him in the championship standings, thus cementing Verstappen's status as the team's lead driver. Verstappen repeated this feat in the 2020 season, finishing third in the Drivers' Championship behind the dominant Mercedes drivers Lewis Hamilton, who won a record-tying 7th title, and Valtteri Bottas. Verstappen won 2 races and finished second or third in 9 others. The 2021 season was centered on a ferocious rivalry between Verstappen and Hamilton, who clashed multiple times, resulting in major accidents in the British and Italian Grands Prix. Verstappen won 10 races and seized a narrow victory over Hamilton in the Drivers' Championship after a hard-fought season-closing race in Abu Dhabi that ended with a controversial decision by race officials. It was Verstappen's first F1 championship, and during one of his post-race interviews he said of his accomplishment that, "It's insane. It's insane. I don't know what to say." New regulations took effect for the 2022 F1 season, which forced significant changes to car engineering and design. Red Bull's cars proved successful, while Mercedes slumped. Verstappen dominated the season with 15 wins, and he secured his second Drivers' Championship, while his rival Hamilton finished 6th. Verstappen's performance, along with that of teammate Sergio Perez, also helped Red Bull win the 2022 Constructors' Championship, the first time since 2013 that the team had secured that title. The 2023 season saw Verstappen win his 3rd consecutive Drivers' Championship. He won 19 of 22 races and finished outside the top 3 just once. He also finished every race. He more than doubled the points scored by his teammate Perez, who was second in the Drivers' Championship. Verstappen set several records, including the most wins in a row, 10, during an F1 season. Even by the middle of the season, though, pundits had begun fretting that his consistent winning was making the sport boring and predictable. As one headline in The Guardian put it, "Max Verstappen and Red Bull are brilliant, but their dominance is a problem for F1." Mechanical failure at the 2024 Australian Grand Prix prevented Verstappen from completing a race for the first time in nearly 2 years. Verstappen had won the 2 opening races of the 2024 season, and he went on to win 2 more before finishing second to Lando Norris at Miami, raising questions about whether Verstappen would have the same level of success in 2024 as he did in 2023. His 6th-place finish at Monaco provoked yet more questions. Over the next 6 races, however, Verstappen won twice and finished second once, and he maintained a comfortable lead in the Drivers' Championship heading into F1's annual summer break. After the season resumed, Norris continued to put Verstappen under pressure, but Verstappen's decisive win in the rain at the Brazilian Grand Prix in November put him within reach of winning his 4th consecutive Drivers' Championship at the following race, and by finishing ahead of Norris at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, he did exactly that. "To stand here as a 4-time world champion is of course something that I never thought was possible," he said in a post-race interview. "So yeah, at the moment, just feeling relieved in a way, but also very proud."